Today I'd like to talk to you about rites of passage. Rites of passage have always been traditionally recognized as important in traditional cultures, the transition between childhood and adulthood. And we also celebrate transitions like marriage. We celebrate the birth of a child. We know that all of these things carry great energy and that they are transitional for us. But we've forgotten some of them. Some of the things that are so transitional are things like divorce. Divorce can be extremely transitional. And how many people do we know that got divorced on paper but never really got divorced totally? They're either Facebook stalking their ex, or they haven't been able to recover. They feel very stuck. And so those two can be celebrated as a transition that allows the person to fully make an energetic divorce, for them to fully be able to move forward. So we know there's the trilogy in women, maiden, mother, crone. We also know for men, they also have the unmarried man, the father, and the elder. So these are all places of transition that we have lost as a society. We don't celebrate very much. Even birthdays are real transitional. We're celebrating another journey around the sun. So it's become a time of cake and presents, but not necessarily celebrating this transition of this person another year older. So really this rites of passage, you can celebrate anything that comes to your mind, anything that's in your life or the life of people around you, to create a ceremony, to create an energetic shift so that they can move into a new role and out of an old role. So shamans love to journey. So today I'm going to take you on a journey, because in these times of COVID, we can't always get together. And we can't always be in one spot to celebrate things. But we still have Zoom. We can invite people on Zoom. If you have a divorcing couple and they want to do this work together, great, you can have them both together on Zoom. If that doesn't work out, you can still do it for the one partner. You can also do it for parents. Having a new baby is a wonderful thing and a wonderful celebration, and often it just sort of happens. And it's not celebrated as this transition, this important time of ending an old way of being and transitioning into a new way of being. So if you have people that want to participate, great, they can be present on Zoom. You can have a Zoom call. But if it's only the one person, that's fine too. So I'm going to take you on a journey today as an example of how you might make this work. So we're going to go across a meadow, and we're going to come to an altar of the past, where the person can leave their old ways of being and their old ways of relating, and also maybe bring something for that old self, and they can leave that too on the altar. And then we're going to walk forward through a doorway. There always has to be a transition, a doorway. So we're going to go through the doorway, leaving behind that past self and embracing and stepping into the new self, into the future. Very important. So, and on the other side, we're going to talk about a gift that's going to come to this person for taking this beautiful step. So the journey we're going to take today is one that I like to use for people that are making a transition from childhood roles that have ensnared them into adulthood with family members. And this can happen at any age. I'm doing this a lot with clients that are 30, 40, 50, 60 years old that are still trapped in these antagonistic relationships with parents that they have never really stepped into the role of adult with. The parents have never really let them go. So this is really, really powerful for everybody to take these steps, but it's especially powerful for the person who needs to take the step for themselves. All right, so let's begin by taking a few deep breaths. Right here, feeling your feet on the floor and feeling your hips in the chair. Feeling yourself right here, right now. And we're going to begin with a drum beat. Tune in to this drum beat and let it carry you forward. Imagine for a moment, close your eyes and imagine that you're walking a beautiful meadow. You can smell the smell of the grasses and the flowers. You can feel the wind on your cheeks. And you can hear the rustlings of small animals. And you continue to walk forward in this great meadow. And your intention is to leave behind the ways of the child and the relationships of the child. And in the distance, you see a great altar, a stone altar. And you walk toward this altar. And you place on this altar these old ways of being. Perhaps you have some symbols of your childhood you want to leave behind. Some old toys or clothes. Perhaps you have some old memories you want to leave behind of relationships with parents, relationships and ways of being you haven't been able to transcend. Set them down on the altar. And looking around the altar, you see some beautiful flowers. And thanking down, reaching down, thanking the flower, plant. Pick one of these beautiful blossoms to place on the altar of your past in gratitude for all that was. And anything else you wish to place on that altar, anything you wish to leave behind from your childhood, let it rest there. Now turning around from that altar, you look and you see the people that defined your childhood. mothers, fathers, stepfathers, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever it was that defined you, cousins, friends. And they're lined up. And you know that you pass through them and by them to get to this beautiful gateway in the distance. This gateway is covered in flowers and blooms and ivy and all sorts of beautiful things. And you know that that is the doorway, the transition from the old ways, from the past, into this future. Unentangled, unencumbered by these sticky relationships. And as you walk toward all these people, there's a pathway in between them. Imagine them smiling and crying. Waving you forward. As you pass by, you smile, you wave, thanking them for all that was, all the wisdom you learned from them, including perhaps how not to be in this world. As you walk closer and closer and closer to that beautiful gateway, you let them know that those old ways are finished, but you're willing to have them join you in new relationships, in new ways of being. But the old ways are gone. So you're coming up to this gateway, and you look at it, and you know that once you step through, all those old ways are gone. You're not that child anymore. You're stepping into adulthood. And you're taking all the decision making that comes with it and all the responsibility and consequences for your decision making. You know that now those are yours as a man, as a woman, as an adult. Nobody else's. And taking one more deep breath, you pass through the doorway. And you're met on the other side by a gift. A gift you give to yourself. Something that has meaning just for you. Something that signifies this move, this shift. Something that'll come to you. Could be an animal. Could be a stone. Whatever it is, bring it with you into this future where you're walking forward as an adult. We're taking a long forward stroll. A long way back. A new pathway. Forging new pathways. New pathways back to this tree of life. Through this meadow. Come all the way back here to the here and now, to the present. You take a deep breath. And you thank all the people that are here with you, all the people who you had relationships with, and thank yourself for taking this step, for stepping into an adulthood, a new future, a new way of being, holding your gift in your heart. So many blessings. And so if you're on a Zoom call and there's other people present, this is a time to perhaps share how it was for them, how it was for your client. And talk about the ways of going forward together into the future with a new relationship. So many blessings. Thank you so much for coming. And remember, this is just one example. And it's really up to your imagination how far you want to take it and how many different ways you can use this basic scenario to help people transition in beautiful, lovely, loving, energetic ways.